I still don't know what just happened. I really don't.
Yes.
All I can say is give it to God, because without him, nothing.
Stefon Diggs didn't run from teams. He ran toward control. The lazy headline calls him a diva. The pattern says something else. When the ball stops running through him or the brand stops being his, he flips the room and lands somewhere stronger. Minnesota made him a miracle. Buffalo made him the engine. Houston gave him a one-year power card. New England hands him the mic next to a rookie who needs a grown-up on third down. Every flare-up people screenshot. The tweets, the sideline heat, the trade smoke, always traces back to the same thing: leverage. Give him authorship and he feeds you first downs, touchdowns, and momentum swings. Take it away and he forces the issue until the architecture changes. This isn't chaos, it's design. And if that sounds like spin, stick around. I'll show you how the problem wideout keeps becoming the solution. The Minneapolis Miracle that rewired expectations. The All-Pro year that proved volume equals victory. The contract judo in Houston, and the Patriots reset where his voice is the scheme. By the end of this video, the diva label won't survive contact with the receipts. You'll see a player who treats football, and even fashion, like a project he's directing, not a role he's waiting to be handed. The diva tag didn't appear out of thin air, it grew out of perfect camera moments. A close-up on a heated sideline. A post-game face that won't play nice for the mic. A cryptic tweet at 2 a.m. that reads like a sub. Package those together and you get an easy story. Me first receiver, always mad, hard to manage. It sticks because it's visual, shareable, and it confirms what people already think about star wideouts. But the seed was planted way earlier. The miracle catch made him mythic. Once you become a franchise folk hero, anything less than centerpiece touches feels wrong. Especially to fans who now expect fireworks on command. When the scheme goes run heavy or conservative, the gap between what he should be and what he's allowed to be turns every quiet stat line into a referendum on attitude. If he shows frustration, confirmation bias goes to work. Social media does the rest. Diggs likes lyrics. The timeline reads tea leaves. A bar from a song becomes trade request. A shrug emoji becomes locker room war. And because he's expressive, the algorithm never runs out of B-roll. Meanwhile, the dull reality, route distribution, coverage shells, coordinator tendencies doesn't trend. Optics beat context every time. Add the league's oldest stereotype. When an offense sputters, a vocal wide receiver gets blamed first. He's visible. He wants the ball. He asks for adjustments. That looks like ego until you remember the job description. Elite receivers are judged by moments, not drip routes. If the ball doesn't find him in the moments, the audience writes personality fanfic to explain why. That's how the misconception calcified. A highlight that raised the bar, a camera that never blinks, and a timeline that loves smoke. The reality underneath is simpler and less clickable. He's not addicted to drama. He's addicted to agency. And when that agency shrinks, the frustration gets televised. Now, flip the lens. If you track the moves, not the memes, you see a straight line. Every incident follows lost authorship in the offense. That's the pattern we'll prove next. Here's the take in one line. Stefon Diggs isn't chasing drama. He's chasing authorship. When he's central to the plan, he's a force. When he isn't, he forces the plan to change. Look at Minnesota. Explosive, clutch, marketable, and stuck inside a philosophy that prioritized handoffs over heat-seeking slants and choice routes. The tension wasn't, I want attention. It was, this offense caps my impact. One public flare-up, a lot of back-channel friction, and he resets the board with a new environment built for volume and freedom. Drop him into Buffalo and the theory goes live. First year with a pass-first coordinator and a quarterback who trusts him pre-snap, he leads the league in catches and yards. The offense jumps tiers, and he's first-team All-Pro. That's what authorship looks like. Route freedom, target share, weekly input. Later, when the voice in the room feels smaller, new wrinkles, new priorities, the same pressure reappears on camera. Not because he's combustible, but because the leverage he fights for is tied directly to winning the downs that decide games.
Then comes Houston, the problem child move if you buy the old narrative. Except the contract is the tell. A functional one-year prove-it setup that restores choice after the season. That's not chaos. That's optionality. An ACL interrupts the script, but the structure still preserves what he values most next: control over where and how he's used. So the hot take is simple. With Diggs, production follows power. Give him authorship and he gives you separation, timing, and momentum swings when the stadium's lungs stop. Take it away and he'll apply pressure, publicly if he has to, until the scheme, the staff, or the zip code changes. That's not ego, that's alignment. And the receipts only get louder from here. Stretch the lens and the pattern shows up everywhere. When Diggs is part of the weekly build, install notes, route tags, option rules, he turns drives into runs and runs into wins. When he's not, you see the tells, the empty stare on the bench, the clipped answers, the tweet that reads like a riddle. Buffalo year 1 is the control sample. His fingerprints were on the script and the scoreboard followed. Later, tweaks to the tree, different red zone priorities, and coordinator churn shrank his voice by inches. Those inches become headlines when a camera catches the moment the ball goes somewhere else on third, and gotta have it. Why tolerate a narrative that paints you as the issue? Because it buys leverage and attention at the same time. Being the lightning rod keeps the conversation centered on usage and design, exactly where he wants it. Coaches hate distractions, but they hate wasted possessions more. If a week of media noise forces a Saturday night adjustment to the call sheet, the noise did its job. Teams play along too. Every organization needs a story when the offense stalls. It's cleaner to frame it as receiver intensity than to explain protections, spacing, and tendencies. He becomes the symbol of urgency, which conveniently shields the scheme. He knows that, and he uses it. Accept the heat, push for authorship, live with the optics. The brand piece isn't accidental either. Diggs treats fashion the same way he treats football, curation and control. LIEM isn't just clothes, it's proof he wants final cut on how he's seen. That consistency, on-field routes, off-field fits, tells you this is identity, not impulse. He'd rather be judged for trying to steer than praised for going along. And the locker room angle? Stars notice when veterans ask for standard and structure. Younger players don't just copy releases, they copy posture. When he pushes for targets, it signals that impact is supposed to be earned, not hoped for. That can feel loud from the outside, but inside, it clarifies roles. If the best guy is demanding the ball in the biggest downs, everyone else knows exactly what their down looks like too. Zoom out, and the diva frame reads like a mislabel on the right idea. He's not addicted to drama, he's addicted to being in the room where the plan is written. Give him that, and he'll carry the plan to the pylon. Take it away, and the pressure you feel is the cost of ignoring your most reliable lever. Next, the receipts that make that impossible to argue. Houston wasn't a soft landing, it was a chess move. The contract told you everything. Scrub the back-end years, keep the guarantees clean, and turn a big, complicated deal into a simple one-year bet with outs. That structure did two things at once. First, it let him step into a turbo offense with a quarterback who rips throws on time. Second, it restored the one thing he values most, choice after the season. On the field, the fit made sense. Spacing-heavy concepts, option routes, and a young core that wanted a closer on third down. Off the field, the optics flipped. Instead of star wideout stuck in a system, it read, veteran weapon choosing his window. Even when the year got bumpy, targets ebbing, usage shifting, a physical setback in the second half, the leverage didn't evaporate because the paper was built for optionality, not handcuffs. That's the quiet genius of the Houston chapter. Most players chase security. He engineered flexibility. If the chemistry exploded, he had maximum negotiating power. If it stalled, he still had an exit ramp with his brand intact. Either way, the narrative moved from, why can't he fit, to, where does he want to be featured? It wasn't drama, it was design. And that design tees up the next pivot perfectly. A fresh playbook, a locker room that needs a tone setter, and a quarterback who can grow with a demanding WR1. In other words, a place where authorship isn't begged for, it's baked in. This wasn't nostalgia, it was a clean room rebuild. New England didn't bring in Stefon to be a vibe, they brought him in to be a standard. Day one, he's the loudest clarity in a young offense. Tempo in and out of the huddle, landmarks crisp, sight adjust rules exact. Rookie quarterback, perfect. A demanding WR1 shrinks the playbook into solvable downs. 3rd and 7 turns into find 14 on the option. Red zone compresses? You let him dictate leverage with stems, not prayers. The fit is philosophical. New England loves structure, Diggs loves authorship. That's not a clash, it's a merger. He gets a system that rewards precision and a room that actually wants him to set the bar. They get a closer who treats Tuesdays like Sundays and forces detail on everyone else. Targets matter, but gravity matters more. Safety rotations tilt, boundary corners stop peeking into the backfield, and the run game suddenly breathes because the top is scared to cheat. And the leadership piece is obvious without speeches. He frames accountability as taste. Good routes look a certain way, good weeks sound a certain way, and good offenses put their best player in decision points repeatedly. Young receivers copy it. The quarterback leans on it. The coordinator builds around it. It's not the fireworks reel of Buffalo year one, but it's the same thesis. Give Diggs voice, and he gives you drive equity. Fewer wasted plays, more we decide this series moments. That's the reset. Less chaos, more authorship, and a blueprint a young core can grow inside. Next, zoom out past the field. Because the leverage story doesn't stop at route trees. It shows up in price tags, contracts, and a fashion label that turns image into equity. Here's the part where the pattern expands beyond the stadium lights. Stefon Diggs treats his body like a production asset and his image like a board seat. He plays one sport, he builds two platforms. Start with the financial design. The Houston deal wasn't just a salary, it was a functional call option. He converted long-term risk into short-term freedom. That kind of contract structure isn't a byproduct, it's an indicator. I'm not betting on your system, I'm betting on me. That leverage backs up every on-field demand because the paper says fewer excuses, more impact, or we reset. Now pivot to LIEM, live in every moment. More than a merch drop, it's a brand thesis. Running sneakers, tailored outerwear, front row appearances at Fashion Week. It's all storyline currency. NFL contracts expire. Images last. By creating something outside football, he safeguards the leverage even when the stats dip or the chain moves falter. People who call him diva overlook this. It's not vanity, it's vertical integration. In practice, it means he shows up different. Post-game fit tweet zones become statements. I didn't just play this week, I designed what it means to look like I played. It means contract talks aren't just give me X catches. They're give me stage plus voice plus brand lift. Teams notice, brands notice. The market notices. The result? His voice in the room becomes louder than most because he's backing it up with economy beyond the 53-man limit. Here's the big takeaway. Off-field leverage mirrors on-field authorship. If he wants design input in the system, he builds it into the deal. If he wants product input in his image, he builds the label. The too much narrative is just noise for people uncomfortable when players stop being passive. When the leverage is externalized, every social media bar, every contract clause, every fashion show becomes part of the narrative. Not look at me, but look at what I control. And yes, that control gets criticized. Why is he on runway during camp, they say? Doesn't matter. He's already built the runway. You're just taking notes. Next, we wrap it up clean, circle back to the thesis, and connect everything so you walk away, seeing this not as a behind-the-scenes saga, but a playbook in motion. By now, the pattern isn't rumor, it's record. Every stop on Stefon Diggs' journey follows the same law of leverage. When he has authorship, production explodes. When he loses it, headlines explode. Minnesota built the miracle that proved his ceiling. Buffalo unlocked the prime that showed what full autonomy looks like. Houston gave him contractual freedom to redraw the map, and New England lets him rewrite the tone entirely. Mentor, designer, operator. The through line isn't drama, it's discipline. He understands that in the NFL, freedom doesn't come with talent, it comes with receipts. So he stacks them. 1,000-yard seasons, playoff runs, film sessions that turn into film schools. Then he cashes them in for choice. Choice of role, of scheme, of image. It's not rebellion, it's brand management disguised as route running. That's why the diva label feels outdated. What used to look like ego is now infrastructure. He builds contracts like startups, runs routes like trademarks, and treats every tweet, every fit, every sideline camera like part of a broader marketing plan. One that keeps him both unpredictable and indispensable. So when people say he's always got something to prove, they're half right. What he's proving isn't that he can still play, it's that he can still control the narrative. From miracle to all-pro to architect, Stefon Diggs has mastered the one skill most pros never learn: how to stay valuable by staying visible, and how to stay visible without ever letting someone else direct the shot.